Consider for a moment where you live. Not the dwelling with the roof overhead, but your overall surrounding. Do you live out in the middle of nowhere in amongst the woods? Or perhaps you live in a semi-arid place in Arizona, possibly even surrounded by desert somewhere in Australia? Or do you live in a large, sprawling city? GameMasters here, and habitat is defined as the natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or organism. An interesting feature in the new 2025 Monster Manual can be found in the latter pages of the book under Appendix B called Habitats. I'm going to try to set this down without it falling over, but habitat in the Monster Manual is defined as a location where monsters typically dwell. I think that's okay. Here in Appendix B, it lists out 11 total habitats and provides the various monsters that typically dwell there. The habitats are Arctic, coastal, desert, forest, grasslands, hill, mountain, swamp, dark, underwater, and urban. Technically, there is a 12th habitat that shows a listing of monsters that can be found in any habitat. For example, commoners, bandits, banshees, even a lich can be found in almost any given habitat, whereas a hill giant would likely be found in the hills. Giant crabs, kuatoa, feel free to jump in the comments and correct my pronunciation on that one. Crocodiles, blue dragons, even bronze dragons, and dragon turtles would be more likely to be found in coastal habitats, but that same giant crab and dragon turtle might also be found in the underwater habitat. So many of the monsters in this new book are going to be listed under multiple habitats. Keep in mind, too, what is listed in any given monster's description is simply where that monster can typically be found. Should you want to have that dragon turtle living in the middle of a sprawling city, I don't know, perhaps somewhere in the middle of Yartar, which lies several miles to the east of Winterdeep, by all means, toss one in there. Perhaps the city reveres it. If you are Winterdeep, Waterdeep. That's it, Waterdeep. If you're partial to the silver dragons, red dragons even, or even wyverns or basilisks, you're going to most likely encounter them in and around mountainous areas. But again, should you want to place a basilisk in a swamp, go for it. What I like about this habitat listing in the appendix is that it makes it super easy to determine as I am creating up an adventure, that I can find a fairly good group of monsters that I can toss into those specific areas. If I was to create up an adventure that will take my players on their way to the Bloodstone Pass, for example, I can easily reference the habitats that they would be moving through. Coastal, as they travel the river Pelovar. Perhaps urban, as they take lodging in the Bloodstone Village. And mountainous, as they move through the pass itself. Each habitat listed has the monsters found there broken down by challenge rating and then by alphabetical order beside that challenge rating. For example, in the urban habitat, you'd likely encounter a few CR0 monsters like bats, cats, goats, rats, ravens, or spiders. Of course, you might also encounter some of those same monsters in a grasslands habitat or even elsewhere because, again, keep in mind, some of the monsters can be found in multiple habitats, as mentioned. Also, feel free to mix it up however it best fits your table. And that, my fellow gamers, is what Habitats in the new 2025 Monster Manual for D&D is all about. I am working on several more videos that will be released in the coming days, all covering different elements found within this new book. So I would ask you to subscribe so that you don't miss those. Giving this video a thumbs up goes a long way and shows me that folks are actually interested in exploring the contents that's found within. But if you have any questions or would like to suggest a topic for me to cover, definitely feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section. My question for you is, what all monsters would you expect to find in a swampy habitat? And I better see ogres listed. Let me know down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, watch this playlist next.